'Twas the night before Christmas. The lab was all still. Not a machine's whirring, not even a drill. The lab coats are hanging limp on the rack, and the chem store is closed, and it's dark in the back. Church bells were chiming the magical hour as I locked up the gates to head home in the car. Paddy at her house and Luke at his were snuggled up warmly, probably sleeping off the fizz. Then in the yard there arose a great clatter, a screeching and bang. I mean, what on earth was the matter? So I reopened the gate and sprang into action, turned on the high beams just to see the reaction. As in the poem, light reflected off snow to give lustre to an almost unbelievable show. I rubbed my eyes twice to make sure I was right, and a sleigh was in wreckage. A terrible sight. The driver jumped out so lively and quick. To be honest, it really must have been good old Saint Nick. 8 shaken reindeer crowded around. A 9th, who I think was Rudolph, was lying on the ground. Now Dasher, now Dancer, and Prancer and Vixen, or Comet, or Cupid, or Donner and Blitzen, stand back from poor Rudolph. Give him some air, he'll be fine. And Rudolph stood slowly, and his nose began to shine. I coughed more loudly, and St. Nick turned in a fright. What on earth happened, I asked. Are you all right? Oh, we're all right, said St. Nick, but the sleigh is a mess. Too overloaded, even for magic, I guess. Then in a twinkling I knew what to do. Come with me, I said, I've got something for you. The reindeer looked worried as I let them all in, but they soon calmed down with sweets from a tin. Now, St. Nick was dressed in fur from head to foot, yet not covered in ashes and soot. He put his big bag of toys right on the bench, struck up a pipe, and it was a bit of a stench. His eyes, they still twinkled, and his dimples were merry. His cheeks were rosy, and his nose like a cherry. His mouth looked astonished, not at all like a bow, and his hair and his beard, they were really white as snow. Now, as I wheeled out a quad bike powered by gas, his eyes widened further, and we compared our deep laughs. His jelly-like belly shook, just like mine. Developed over years, like a really fine wine. I think it might work, he said, full of thought. I saw this on YouTube and saw how you fought to weld it together and explain clearly each step. Yes, I think it might work, and I'll never forget. So with a wink of his eye and a nod of his head, we hitched up the reindeer, who were all now well fed. We loaded him, the toys, and the gasifier with wood, so they wouldn't let down all the children who'd been good. Well, he placed a fat finger to the end of his nose and whistled to Rudolph, and slowly they rose. He flew off in a rush, but I heard as he went, "Happy Christmas, dear Rob, you're truly a gent." Now the story ends here, as I'm sure you well know, apart from a sleigh broken in the snow. But I'll mend it next year and paint it all bright. And for everybody else, have a very Merry Christmas and a happy good night.